Hey, how's it going, everyone? This is JR. Long time no here. I appreciate you guys tuning in to my video. For those of you who haven't and are new to my channel, obviously, and haven't watched any of my videos, make sure you check out my other videos. I've done topics similar to this because I've experienced it personally. I'm not talking out of some type of hearsay, but firsthand experience. So I just wanted to do this video because of what what is frustrating, or what has become frustrating, and what happens to thousands of other fathers, if not millions of fathers around the world, but especially in the United States where we currently reside. And this family court system. What's up, O'Shea? I appreciate it, bro. Um, this court system that we have out here, that basically is a racket, in my opinion, and that is designed to basically leave you destitute, broke, frustrated, and to destroy you. And it's designed where, especially if you're a father, and that's particularly what this video is about, is for you fathers. But if you're a man going through a divorce, it is gonna kind of going to be the same way. So in my situation in particular, and other people's situation in my state, and I don't know if there probably are states that are similar to mine. If you're not married to the mother of your child, uh, by default or de facto, she's the primary custodial parent, and you have no rights. You might as well be a stranger, and when you look at it as far as that being fair, that's just the law. Whoever these guys who come up with these laws, these people who come up with these laws, the whole psychology behind it, or how it being fair and even in the best interest of the child, for one parent, in terms of the mother, and she's giving birth to the child, she has custody, and basically by just going to social services or wherever, whatever have you, she can put you on child support and force you to pay child support after paternity is determined, and you still not have visitation or any rights to your child, but you are still forced to pay child support for this child. And if you don't, you will be, you know, put in jail, license revoked, or suspended. Other, taxes, all this other stuff, wage garnishment, all these other things. And the only way that you would be able to see your child or get visitation or anything like that is to petition your local family court for a judge to see fit, another third party, this judge, to see fit for you to be able to get visitation of your own child, because the mother is basically dictating that because she has this power, she's able to do this. If you look at that as far as a system, it's just like, I try to be fair across the board and not speak, negative or be derogatory as far as women goes in a situation like this. But it's like, in these positions, you have, it's almost like a child. You give a child power, or someone any type of power, and it goes to their head, and they wield it as if, with impunity, so to speak, where you can't, hey, I got this, I got your child here, you know what I mean, I got your child here, would you like, hey, can I see my, I like to visit my child this weekend, can I visit my child this weekend? Let me think about it. No. But by the way, where's my child support at? Oh, you aren't paying my child support? We call DSS, and yes, hello. Well, in South Carolina, that's what it's called, DSS, Department of Social Services. Hello, DSS. Yeah, such and such isn't paying their child support. Oh, okay. Well, once it gets to a certain amount in arrears, a warrant's going to be issued for your arrest. Meanwhile, you're not able to see your child unless you know, you have to petition the court for a judge to tell you. And even instances, there are men who have court orders in place to see their children, and the mother is still going against the court orders. And you, in order to enforce that, because police officers aren't typically going to enforce that court order as far as the visitation, you actually have to uh, file a motion for contempt of court and rule that person back in and see if the judge is going to punish them or whatever you want to call it, for this. So it's just crazy how we have to go through these things. And um, it a lot of this has forced or changed my ideology or my outlook on life and marriage and relationships. And you can say, we do it to ourselves, and that's why you hear a lot of these guys on these channels preach uh, MGTOW, so on and so forth. When I mean, that's the terminology you use, but at the end of the day, it's this power matriarchal society that is dictating these laws to basically drain your pockets. And it's not fair for those of you who've been through divorce, because obviously, when you're married, you have more rights to your child, only a little bit more, as opposed to if you're not married, especially in my state. You have a few more rights than if you didn't, if you were married, than if you didn't, excuse me, than if you weren't married. And y'all excuse my language. I haven't been on camera in a while, so if I stutter and stammer, and I don't have a piece of paper to read off of. I'm just going off of my thoughts, because that's what this video is. It's the rant. So for those of you who like getting on my videos and say get to the point, you can click off right now. I'll answer your question there, Jarrett, but here you go. Yeah. So I look at it as the frustration sits in, and you can ask, and there are men, not unlike myself, who ask repeatedly every weekend, hey, I'd like to see my son, I'd like to see my daughter. No, 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 I'll think about it. No, unless you concede to what it is that I'm demanding, i.e., you need to do this, or unless you bend to the whims of that parent without a court order. And some people feel defeated. Some people don't have the money to file, or which a lot of you will probably say, well, you can file an action for $250, $300, whatever, 500. But some people don't have it, or don't know what to say, or don't know how to, or don't have the time to go through this process. Because even if you don't think it's litigation, this litigation takes time to go through when you're filing it on your own. And a lot of times you want it done right. You don't want to go in there half-assing. You want to get an attorney. And these attorneys can be, depending on what state you're in, these attorneys can be anywhere, just for you to be able to, you know, get some kind of visitation in place can cost you $2,500, $5,000. You know, and that's not even counting what you would have if she disagrees. If she disagrees with your visitation and it's contested, what it is that you're asking, the judge is gonna, sweeten the pot a little and make you go through mediation. No, excuse me. Get a guardian ad litem. That's another one right there for those of you who've been through this situation. You're gonna have to get a guardian ad litem, which is not cheap as well. So depending on your state, whoever, the guardian ad litem could cost you several $1,000s. I mean, you have to split that cost with her as well. And the same thing with mediation could cost you, depending on how long you're in there for, going back and forth, that could cost you thousands of dollars. So you can see how this can quickly add up for something that this money could be spent on the child, but because of this person is upset and doesn't want to be amicable, and you want to act like a child, it's just weird that you have to go through this. And a lot of men just say screw it. A lot of men don't want to go through the process. A lot of men don't want to have to deal with that. You have to go through all this just to be able to see your own child. But all she has to do is go to DSS or social services for free. She doesn't have to pay anything. Well, maybe $25, I think, to find the father. I guess it's something like that, depending on where you're at. But a lot of times it's free. It's free for them to do this. But you as a man, you have no rights, and it makes you think twice about who you share your seed with. You know, who you lay down with, because I'm a firm believer at the end of the day that people generally think alike. Yeah, get a vasectomy. And I don't, what is it called in the wall? Not all women are the same. I think that all women are the same in that aspect. And let me explain for those of you. I know there's going to be women watching this video, because I'm going to expound. If you get a woman upset enough, or if she's bitter enough, if she's mad enough, she can say that I won't do that to you, but she'll turn around and do that to you. When it comes to court, people are different people. They're completely different. You could have moved on. You could have a new woman. You could have another child. You know, and they will do this, even though, and it's weird that they do this. They could have moved on themselves and had a child and be doing their own thing, but they want to see you suffer. They want to see you, distraught. They want to use whatever they can against you. They want to use whatever they can against you. The only thing that in children is the worst, as far as collateral goes, is the collateral damage. It affects the child, especially when you've done nothing wrong. And I know that's a subjective thing to say as far as doing something wrong, but if the status quo is that you've been seeing your child on a set schedule for a certain period of time, and the other parent just up and I know there's going to be men that watch this, and they were going through worse things than what my situation is, which I'll get into here shortly. But it's just like it's just a show of force, a show of power. That I'm not going to let you see the child, and that's just the way it is. I'm in charge. You're going to pay me. Daddy government, i.e. the judicial system, has got my back, and they will enforce this through the sheriff's department, the sheriff's office, and they will arrest you if you don't comply. But at the same time, I can do whatever I want, regardless. And there's nothing you can do about it unless you take me to court. In my case, and I know the bum, which I hate to say it, but she's a bum, the baby mother, and I know she's probably on live right now watching this. She's a bum, and she's my girlfriend that I have. Me and her have a child together, my current girlfriend that I'm with. So she was pestering me about whether she was pregnant or not, which is the weirdest thing ever. It's none of her business. Once she found out that my girlfriend was pregnant, she went and got pregnant, which is the dumbest thing ever also. So she goes and gets pregnant, and I was on a regular schedule with my as I would see my daughter every other weekend, from Friday evening to Sunday evening, every other weekend. And then she started to taper that off at her own discretion, where she wanted to change the time or skip weekends because she's in charge. She's the custodial parent. She gets to do what she wants. Then paying child support, not court ordered, on my own. And all of a sudden, this past June, the weekend that she has her baby, she decides to, after that, she's going to stop my visitation with my daughter. She interrogates, and this is what these women do. She interrogates my daughter, asks her questions about what goes on at my house, probably asks her questions about my girlfriend. She doesn't want her around my girlfriend. This woman even went as far as to say, stop taking pictures and posting them on social media. Now, I know you guys have heard this one before because that's a common thing that these women do. They don't want you to even put pictures up of you and your daughter anymore. Leave her out of pictures. It's just so weird to me how, and why would you even be on, if you moved on in your life, you got your own life going on. Why would you even be concerned with what I do on social media? Making up stuff, all types of BS, and then just basically saying, you need to pay me more child support and I'm going to alter the visitation hours. And if you don't agree to this, you're not going to see your daughter anymore. I haven't seen my daughter since, what is it, the weekend of June 7th? Like I said, and here it is, the weekend of September 7th. So that's 3 months, basically. If my math is correct. July, August, September, yeah. It's 3 months. And I ask every other weekend to see my daughter, and I'm given the same answer. No, 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 no. But, to my knowledge, she has a boyfriend, but her boyfriend gets to see my daughter. Isn't that weird? Don't you see a problem with that and the way this world is set up? And the only way to get someone to do something about this is to take them to court. Because a logical, rational person wouldn't do that to their children, but they have the nerve to say that black men ain't don't take care of their kids. Black men are deadbeats. It's not always the case. And you gotta look at the situations. It's like single parenthood as far as our black women. It's almost as if they want to be single parents. You can do everything you want. You can do everything you can to try and see your child, and there'll be roadblocks put in the way, or money and things like that. Everybody doesn't have that kind of money. Everybody doesn't have that, and a lot of these mothers are banking on you not having any money to be able to fight for your rights. There needs to be some type of reform, some type of new legislation put in place overall. I know it's at state level, obviously, with a lot of these things, and I'm gonna do what I can now, even though I'm not that much of a voice out here. I know there is different groups, fathers' rights, so on and so forth, but I think due to my unique situation and what I've experienced, luckily for me, I have full custody of my 3 sons, which you know took a lot going through BS just to get that, even though the mother abandoned the kids, but she still had, rights to, go through all this BS just for it to come to a conclusion. And spending, you know, close to $14,000 just to get that resolved. But I'm going to start an initiative, and see how far I can go with my pen, which is what I do. If y'all don't know, is I'm a writer. For those of you who've been following, but I'm gonna see how far I can go with my pen, as far as getting our representatives, state representatives involved, even congressmen, just to see what is it that I can do, or from this lowest point to try and get something going, because this is ridiculous how men as the providers are you're just stripped away of your ability to mold or to be in the household, or to be able to stop things nip it in the bud, before these children start having these psychological issues and abandonment issues and disdain for the fathers, and you know start going down the wrong path, so to speak, making bad decisions. A lot of this can be prevented, but I think at the end of the day, like I said, the government is a piece of work. It's something else. It really is. It really is something else. And I feel for fathers who have to experience it. I remember, for example, there's a guy named Joe Budden, celebrity, former rapper, or whatever. He said his son, I guess, this is a year or 2 years ago, his son lashed out on social media saying he never was there for him, so on, da 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 da, this, that, and the third. And he basically was like, and they were asking him about his thoughts on it. I think the Breakfast Club asked him. He was like, "I don't care." And it was like, "Why don't you care?" And he was like, "Because I did everything I could to see my son. Several court appearances over and over. I did everything I could to be in my son's life. But the mother just, it was her whole goal in life to keep me out of my son's life. So whatever he has to say, I really don't care." And it's sad that it has to be that way, but it's just like, I don't know what goes on in someone's mind to just say, intentionally, I'm going to do this to you. Especially if, and a lot of times, and I guess sometimes I can't say it's whether you have had a father in your life. A lot of these mothers, if they had a father in their life or if they didn't, but it would seem that if you had a father in your life, you wouldn't want to keep that from your child. Same thing, but it is what it is. Logic, what I'm learning every day, and I'm 36 years old, all that logical stuff goes out of the window with a lot of things that go on in this world, and especially in this country, the US of A. A lot of things it just doesn't make sense. And I'm sorry if I'm being long-winded, but it's something that, yeah, of course, it's all about their feelings. It's always all about their feelings. It's always all about their feelings. It's not about, you have to put feelings in it. That's why it goes that way, and that's why the family court is designed that way to prey on or to play off a woman's feelings, because they know how she's going to conduct herself. For you to just say, for you to sit down, especially as a man, there has to be an ulterior motive for you to say, I'm a man, but I'm going to make sure I strip the rights of another man. Let's put this into action. Well, let's put this forward so it can get passed. And as you know, if you don't know, the family court judge is the most powerful judge in the judicial system. Period. The most powerful, almost omnipotent in the courtroom. They can do, even if it's against the law, they can do it. It's ridiculous. And I've learned that personally. I've had judges do stuff that basically was against the law. And when I called them on it, they were like, I don't care. Basically, because who are you? It's just like police officers, law enforcement, police officer, judges, attorneys, they look at us as regular citizens as we're second class. And for you to be in this courtroom before us, a lot of times, I'm not saying all of them, but you are second class. Why are you in here? You have issues. Everybody has issues. But I don't know, man. It's just crazy, man. I can understand bitter baby mothers and dealing with something. It's a nightmare. It is a nightmare. And it just bothers me to that point. you have a child, and that's just what it is, man. But I don't want to talk too much longer. I'm just saying that's my plans. You know, if any of you guys are going through it, you guys having those issues, hit me up. I'm gonna try to spark a little fire here locally. Because this talking on YouTube, I mean, it's good reaching out, and because I know I'm not. I used to hear this stuff firsthand, and a lot of the videos I've done in the past, there have been guys commenting and telling their horror stories, and I'm just like, wow, you know, you've gone through this, and it's that deep. But it's like when you see a pattern, and when you hear a lot of the stories are similar, it's hard to take the individual approach. Which that's one thing, you know, when we talk about psychology and disorders and things like that, or examining a person and determining things, you want to take the individual approach. But it's hard to do when it's like so many of these things are happening. But I mean, it is what it is. But I appreciate you guys tuning in because I'm probably gonna keep this video going forever, and I'll probably be on here ranting. I know I haven't been on here in a while. Been trying to make the business. Said the DC. Let me not say that before they demonetize this video for me even mentioning that. Western civilization has lost its grip when everything is geared to harm the man. That's correct. That's correct. Everything. No, you can type that on here. I just don't want to say it because they especially my videos. They scrutinize every word that I say. So, but I haven't been on here lately because I've been building my own business and stuff like that. So I haven't been putting out videos like I should. But I'm gonna try to be back on here a lot more often. Especially speaking on subjects like this because it's not fair and it's blatant. It's blatant. It's not fair and it's blatant, and it's a lot of men going through it. You know what I mean? So, with that being said, man, appreciate you guys tuning in. Peace be upon you all. Peace be upon you all. Y'all check me out on Facebook, Instagram, all the social media links below. You got any questions or you want me to do a topic on a video, shoot it to me. If you want to do a one-on-one, everything's there. Uh, no worries, Mike. I appreciate you tuning in, man. You know, I try to do my best to give my experiences to people and let you know like my life is a movie. My life is what I think. I was just riding on my bike on a motorcycle a couple days ago, and I was just riding in the woods. You know, when I say the woods, not off road. I was just riding in the woods, and I was just thinking like my life is like a movie, man. I gotta go. All this stuff is like it just doesn't stop. It's always something going. You know what I mean? And people will say, well, the mother is reacting based upon what you've done or what you've done to her. She may be hurt. She may be this. That has nothing to do with the child. We can be amicable and drop the kid off. We don't have to talk to each other. Let's raise this. I have my time with my daughter. You have your time with her or son, whatever your situation is. It doesn't have to be. We don't have to be friends. You don't have to call my phone. We don't have to know what who's doing, so on and so forth. I'm not with all that. We're past that. So people want to know. They want to know what they want to be in your business. Want to know what's going on. So what's going on in your life? Don't worry about what's going on in my life. Worry about yourself. Worry about what you got going on in your house. Don't worry about what I got going on in my house. So it doesn't matter. You can be. This isn't an age-specific thing, as far as the immaturity and acting like a child. This can be a woman in her teens, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. There's no age limit. You would think as you get older, but that stuff, nah. I'm just tired of it, man. I'm tired of it. I really am. And the MGTOW, whatever you want to, I mean, it's, I wouldn't suggest that, but I would just say the marriage thing. I was asked that a good friend of mine, he called me today. He said God told him to call me. Just out of the blue, nothing wrong was going on my end or whatever. Da 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 da. I was just posting on social media, went to a birthday party, hanging out and stuff like that. So he just called me and he said, God told me to call you. He was like, so when are you gonna get married? I said never. And I don't want to make this video about being married, but it's just like, I think it takes for you and who's ever watching this, it takes for you to go through a situation where you're like almost powerless in terms of getting away and moving on with your life. You know, is in reference to divorce. And someone's using that as leverage to keep you from moving on. Same thing with your child. If you're trying to see your child and the courts are basically telling you if you attempt to take your child or see your child, we're going to arrest you. You know, just stuff like that. You know, it's just weird to me. So why would I put myself in a position again where if I don't want to be with someone anymore, or if I don't want to be in a relation, well, not a relationship, if I don't want to be married to you anymore, you cheat on me, I cheat on you, you know, XYZ, whatever happens, and I don't want to be with you anymore, I have to go through a judge to do that. And whatever we've accumulated, I may be liable to give it to you. I don't think that's fair. I think we should just be able to go on with our lives just like a regular person that wasn't married. It's just a piece of paper to keep you tied to this person, and if you want to separate from this person, you have to dish out thousands of dollars in time, frustration, you know, mediation, child support, potential alimony, guardian ad litem, all this foolishness for something that you could just walk on about your business, you know, normally. You just say, all right, stay up. I hope you have a good life. And keep it moving. You can't do that when you're married. It is hell, man. It is hell to get divorced. It's not easy. And having a non-contested divorce is almost unheard of. Where you just walk in and walk out. Somebody's gonna, especially if you have kids and property, it's not gonna happen, man. It takes two sound, rational, practical people to say, let's split. You go your way, I go my way. I don't want to hold you up. Only way I would get married, and I told him today, is if I got a prenup, which I don't even know if it's possible to say, if I want to leave, I can file and it'll be uncontested. Or non-contested, however you say it. Which I don't even know if that's possible. But I would sign something like that. Or she would have to have much more to lose than I would have at the end of the day. You know. And now, like at 36 years old, I'm not saying that the woman isn't out there, but you almost, a lot of times, if you're a successful man that has your own business and you're ascending in life, that woman has to be able to assist you and build with you. Not build you up, but build with you. Whatever we're going to do, we're going to have this business and run this business together. You know, that's the way I'm looking at things. And a lot of times, not saying there aren't women out there, but you have to build a woman up to that point to be able to do that. And sometimes many of us don't have the patience to do that. So I just, as far as marriage goes, I don't see it as, especially now, I don't see it as a thing to do. It's not really practical. It's not a practical thing to do. It's not a wise thing to do. To me, at least, it's not a wise thing to do. The implications for someone in my position, the implications um, of getting married are that of me ending up shelling out. If something happens, me shelling out more than what it took to get in, way more than what it took for me to get in. And frustration, depression, all these other things, man. The divorce is depressing. It weighs heavy on you. It's a pain in the ass. You have to go through all this BS, talk to lawyers and all this, and they take their time. They're dragging their feet. You want to get this thing over, and you have many states. Well, I know my state. You have to be separated for a year before you can file for divorce. So it's to me, it's not worth it, man. It's not. I think everyone has a sovereign will, and they should be able to go on about their business if they want to, and not have to endure the tomfoolery of this family court and them, throwing it out and saying you need to do this and you need to do that, and no, man, no. Two adults should be able to sit down. I don't know, man. I'm just not with it. I feel like I'm 36. Like I know I've said that 10 times. You keep saying you're 36. Yeah, mother. You keep saying you're 36. Yeah, I know. I'm 36, man. I'm way too old to be dealing with that. In my opinion, to be, nah. We should be able to come and go as we please. That's the way this world is set up. We're travelers in this world. We're not going to be staying here forever. We're travelers. You meet people. You can have a monogamous relationship without a piece of paper, a government piece of paper. That's just me. Maybe I'm talking foolishness, but so I'm done with my rant. I see a few of y'all still tuned in. Um, I'm glad y'all just stayed in to listen to my little rant here. I'm probably gonna be listening to old Tom Akis after this. 41 and went through the loss of a fiance. I know how you feel. I mean, mine was a. Here he goes again. He's starting back up. Mine wasn't a loss because it improved. My life improved after I got divorced, and my life is just steady improving because it's just a battery. It lit a fire under me to be not self-reliant or self-dependent, but to be self-employed on my own business. That was always the goal. But after getting divorced, I really had no choice to do it. So there's positives. You really don't know who you are if you especially if you're married at a young age like me, and you're trying to figure out your position in your 30s and stuff like that. But y'all be easy, man. Y'all fight the good fight, as a another YouTuber says, and stay from out of family court. Watch who you lay down with, because it just because it's all roses and and harps playing and you know little cherubs or Cupid flying in the sky and everything is beautiful, doesn't mean it's gonna always be like that. And that's not me speaking badly. Everything, it's not always gonna be like that. People get divorced. The family court, go to family court one day and just sit up in there, whatever date they do divorces on, and just see how many people are getting divorced and how many people are celebrating after divorces. I know, and y'all can, many of y'all probably who've been divorced, one day you got divorced, there were so many people walking out of there, and they have their girlfriends, boyfriends waiting on them when they get out, and they're cheering like, yay, kissing each other, you know, and stuff like that. And it's just because they know the BS they went through to get there. They know the BS that it took to get there. And you hear about people marrying 5, 6, 7 times. All those must have been painless divorces. I don't know how, but yeah. Anyway, man, I've been tarrying for 40 minutes. That's true. Got the stat, 70%. I think it's going higher than that, man. You know. So appreciate you guys tuning in, man. I'm not gonna keep extending this video and keep doing it 20 minutes at a time. But yo, check out my other videos. I'm probably gonna link some of my older videos to this about divorce and family court and custody and things like that. But I'll be on the lookout for that. Check out what you're doing. Don't be making the same mistakes, especially if you're in your 20s. Don't be making the same mistakes in your 30s like me. You know, because it's not what it seems. It's not what it seems. Family court will turn people into completely different animals. Completely different animals. So take my word for it, man. I'm out of here. Peace be upon you and the mercy and blessings of the Almighty. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Make sure you guys, if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If not, give it a thumbs down. Don't care either way. If you got any topics you'd like me to discuss or anything, hit me up. I'm out, man. Peace.